It is a wonderful pleasure to welcome Bella Rayne to this podcast. She is a young and talented guitarist based in the west coast of the United States. How are you today, Bella? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. So what have you been up to this weekend?
I've actually come down with a little bit of a cold over the past couple days, but I'm getting over it now, so excuse my voice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your mom slash manager told me before we began recording the day before. But yeah, I'm glad you're doing okay now.
Feeling much better now. Just practicing all weekend and hanging out with some friends. Good weekend.
So, are your friends into music the same way as you are?
Yeah, I have some friends who are into music just like me, but it's honestly hard to find people my age in the area in such a rural town
Yeah,
to play music with and kind of connect on that level. So
I see. So, where are you currently based specifically?
I am based just north of San Francisco,
Okay.
right on the coast. Yes.
hmm So, I'm guessing the music scene is not as vibrant as you hope.
It's just rural. It's really nice to have like San Francisco so close and the Sonoma kind of Bay Area vibe going. But yeah, I just like to play as much as possible and meet new people and make those connections.
hmm I see. Yeah, yeah, the Bay Area is pretty known for the 80s, 90s pop punk rock scene, right?
Oh, for sure. Really all music, and they've been so supportive, especially lately.
hmm All right, I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
it.
it's great.
Yeah, so, are those the kinds of artists that you are inspired by?
Um, yeah, I I love really all kinds of music, and it changes all the time from 70s psychedelic rock to blues to 90s alternative grunge to actually the local band I've been playing with lately is kind of a alternative ska reggae band. So it's ever changing, but it's great to just kind of be diverse with that and keep with all of it. So
hmm Yeah. So, yeah, tell me about the band that you're playing with.
the band that I'm playing with right now is called BoonFire, and they're a NorCal based reggae band. So I've been playing shows with them really all summer, and we've just kind of had this crazy summer lineup from awesome festival to like some great shows this summer. And I want to thank them so much for taking me on and taking me under their wing this whole time because it's been such a blast and they're just great people. But we are working on a new album right now that I actually got to record on, which
hmm
was my first time ever recording in the studio,
Oh, well,
which will be released hopefully super soon on all platforms. So stay tuned.
okay. So, so what's the release date specifically?
I actually don't know yet. So
hmm
it's a
Okay.
mystery. Hopefully soon.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let me know when it comes out, and I'll I'll have the entire band on to discuss it.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Definitely stay tuned.
Yeah. So, tell me about the band members.
The band members are great. And honestly, they've kind of became like family now. I've been playing with them for just over a year and it's great.
hmm
They're really, really good people. And it's nice to kind of find people I have something in common with around here because it's not like I said, it's not easy to find a lot of musicians around here who you like gel with like that. So I'm super grateful to have them.
hmm Yeah, I actually got to know you from a young music journalist slash also guitarist. I think her name is Shannon Wilk, and she runs a website called Rockin' Interviews. I'm sure that name is familiar to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is fantastic. And I've actually had the pleasure of meeting her just recently. and collaborating on some covers through Instagram, which has been such a blast. And she's so sweet and fun to work with.
Oh
So
yeah.
best to Shannon because she's my buddy.
Hmm. Yeah, and I know that she's in a band also, and I'm excited to
Mhm.
have her band on my podcast too.
Oh, well, I can't wait to hear that. Yeah, she's fantastic.
Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, if you see Shannon the next time, say hi for me.
Of course.
Hi. So tell me about your mom slash manager. How did she become involved in your musical life?
I'm so lucky to have such a great support team and crew and support system in my life. But really my mom's been part of it obviously since the beginning. And I really don't know what I'd do without her. She's just she plays such a big role in all of this. Um, from personal stylist to momager to I mean really everything you could ask for in a manager, and she's so supportive and there for me in every way. So
Mhm.
she's great.
Yeah, and it's not typical for girls who are who are rock musicians to have like supportive parents or even rock musicians in general. For example, the band The Runaways, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. And I think that's something I really lucked out in because music's been such a big part of my life growing up, and from every genre. My parents are huge Deadheads, so I
Hmm.
think I kind of strayed away from that,
Oh wow.
um, it being so prominent in like my childhood. So I kind of just led with the rock and roll thing and the more like punk rock vibe. And despite that image that I think I have more, I'm definitely also into like the more hippie stuff. And it's been great to kind of, I've been sitting in with a lot of Grateful Dead bands lately, which
Hmm.
has been so fun in the Bay Area from San Francisco to Sonoma. It's just been great.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, the song length is significantly shorter when it comes to punk rock, right?
Oh my gosh, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that has been my obstacle in getting into the Grateful Dead for some time is because I don't believe that they make songs. They make jams, which goes for 20 to 25 minutes. They end when they
Totally.
want to, I suppose.
Totally. Which is something really interesting when playing live, coming from like
Hmm.
kind of the background I have from playing alternative music to like being in a jam band, which is crazy. And I like that kind of different feel. So it's nice to be open with that.
Hmm. Yeah, and so those who are watching us on video may see that your bedroom is significantly more jazz up than my own. So yeah, why don't you give us a little tour of what's going on there?
Oh, I've got my whole back walls postered, and you can't see this one's all in front of me, got a ton of posters too. So my bedroom is more or less turned into like a recording studio. I have my monitors set up right here, and then I have three guitar amps set up over there, and the walls kind of just turned into like a guitar rack. So,
Hmm.
but I think that's how it goes with musicians. And I have a home studio um actually on my property, but I mean, your bedroom's gonna turn into some chaotic studio once you get into music so much.
Hmm.
It's the best.
So you want to show us some of the guitars that you've acquired?
Sure. Sure. I actually have them right here. One second. One's kind of like my this one's kind of like my baby. This is my Fender Strat, and
Hmm.
it's actually kind of new to the collection since I've started working with Fender. They sent this one out to me, and it's of their new line, the American Vintage 2 series. Olympic White. It's a 61 reissue, and I just love everything about it. It's great.
Hmm.
It's
Wow.
got that thick vintage sound, which I really love. And like anyone I think who listens to me play would know that I have like a thicker, I love that creamy sound. And I think you can really get that vintage feel from Fender. And I love pairing this guitar with I have a Fender Twin Reverb Tone Master from Fender. And these two are just like a dynamic duo. It's great.
Yeah, I certainly love the look of it.
Oh, me as well. It's great. And I love that it has those vintage clay dots. It's so cool. And then another one I want to show you here, I'll grab it right here. Just because it's such a unique look is my cream voltage, which is like, I mean, come on, look at this thing. Crazy. It's just a beast of a guitar, from the dynamic sounds of the push pull buttons, and it's got these kind of like almost Les Paul sounding pickups. So cool. I think it's actually got a hidden pickup under the pick guard, which I find really interesting. And the headstock is got that clear part on it, which is so cool. But I love playing this all the time, love playing it live. Love pairing it with outfits. I mean, and it sounds as great as it looks. So I met up with this company at NAMM last year. Actually, I met them a couple years back at NAMM, and we've just been talking ever since. And I started working with them last time I went to NAMM, and they're such great people, and they're just such a great company, really.
Mhm.
And they make awesome guitars, so you should check them out.
All right. Yeah. So, how did you get into guitar playing?
Jeez, that's a great question. Uh, I started playing guitar seriously about 2 or 3 years back. So just at the beginning of the pandemic.
Mhm.
And I was kind of just scrounging around the garage and found my mom's old Strat from high school. And I never really thought I'd play guitar. So I was like, I more or less just need something to put my hands on and fix. So I cleaned it up and put some new strings on it. And then one thing led to another, and it just kind of spiraled into this awesome journey that I'm on now. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I'd be doing if it wasn't for music. It's such a prominent part of my life, and I just love it.
Mhm. Yeah. So, were your parents like musical? You mentioned that your mom had her guitar collection and such.
They would say no. My mom played guitar in high school, but she always says that she just never stuck with it. But I'm so happy that she did, because without finding that guitar, who knows if I would have ever started playing guitar. So
Hmm. Yeah, and you were recently featured in a couple of like well-known guitar magazines, and I find that to be a tremendous opportunity. So, how did that come about for you?
thank you so much. Um, I'm so happy with the new feature. I've been in a couple of the new Guitar Thrills magazine, and then a while back in Guitar Girl magazine, which is just such an honor. And I love seeing all of their issues and features. But the new one is the October issue, and it has actually Steve Vai on the cover, which I just think is so crazy. Like, being in a magazine with Steve Vai, but they've been super supportive, and actually, I think there's going to be a new one coming up soon too. So stay tuned for that.
All right, yeah, I will certainly do. So, who are some of the guitar heroes that you have, the ones that got you into guitar playing, so to speak?
Oh, there's so many great influential guitarists to me. And I think I really pick up on people's playing a lot. So some of my biggest influences are, of course, Mike McCready from Pearl Jam is just like my absolute influence. And he's so cool and amazing. And the Seattle grunge community has been really, really supportive to me throughout this whole journey. But also players like John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, the whole like Jimi Hendrix vibe, just too cool. Derek Trucks. Just recently I've been playing a lot of Derek Trucks, which has been amazing. And just guitar players and mentors who I've met along the way. Like Zach Nugent has been a huge mentor to me, and I can't thank him enough. And but yeah, so many good guitarists out there.
Mhm. Uh, is there a guitar playing style that you would like to emulate? Like you prefer the solo type or the rhythm type?
Um, I'd have to say the solo type because I play lead guitar most of the time when I'm playing, but I mean, from genre to genre, I love just like the blues feel, the very like Eric Clapton blues feel, and then I love that just crazy like psychedelic feel too. Like I love all of those different styles, but definitely lead.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you listened to the really old like Mississippi Delta blues?
I think so. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. I'd say someone like Robert Johnson would be a good
Oh,
like
okay.
introduction to that scene. He he was an inspiration for like a multitude of guitarists that came after him. I off the top of my head, I can think of Keith Richards, but I'm sure
Of
Clapton
course. Of
picked up
course.
some of his cues from him.
Yeah.
And one of the myths surrounding Johnson is that he sold his soul to the devil in order to play good guitar, and um, and he was killed in a lovers' quarrel where
What?
so basically he was going out with this girl, but then her like current lover slash boyfriend found out about it, and he
Oh
passed
no.
away really young, probably in the age of 23 or something. So, but what we have are some of the most terrific guitar playing on earth, really.
Of course. Yeah.
And I can spot from your bedroom a couple of Nirvana and Kurt Cobain posters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I know that they've enjoyed a recent surge of popularity because one of their songs was featured in the Batman movie.
Yeah.
But
I actually still haven't seen the new Batman movie, which I think I should check it out soon. It's
yeah,
about
it's
time.
sure. Yeah, you're welcome to. It's really long though. I think
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it's 3 hours, which is half of my lifetime. So I don't know about you.
My dog just opened the door.
Hmm. Well, let me say hi to him or her.
I'll grab her. Her name is Daisy.
Hmm.
Here she is.
Hello, Daisy.
She's pretty cute.
Hmm. And how does she how does she feel having a wonderful rock guitarist as part of her family?
Oh my gosh. Daisy, how do you feel? She's a great dog. My dogs are like a huge part of my life.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'd do without them either.
Oh, so a guitar person and a dog person.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm a total animal lover.
Hmm. So yeah, speaking of Nirvana and Kurt Cobain, I actually have the hardest time getting into their music, even though I guess I'm dressing the kind of flannel shirt that he popularized. So yeah. So how does he appeal to you?
I'm a huge Kurt Cobain person. Huge. Nirvana was a big influence to me first getting into guitar and loving like the grunge scene. And I know that's like a kind of cliche thing, but I love Kurt Cobain. He's pretty groundbreaking. He's super cool, and he's always been just a big influence to me. So
Awesome. Yeah. Have you listened to anything made by Courtney Love and her band Hole yet?
yes, I have.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Hole's a great band. I know that there's some controversy surrounding the whole band, but I mean, they're cool. They're awesome. They're great musicians.
Hmm. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to listen to their most famous album yet. Was it Live Through This?
Live through this. Yes.
But I really should. I know that their debut album was produced by Kim Gordon of Sonic Youth.
Really?
Yeah. Um, So, have you listened to any Sonic Youth album lately?
I haven't. I totally didn't know that. I used to love Sonic Youth. I still do. Love
Mhm,
Sonic Youth too, and Kim Gordon's a great kind of great role model too because she's a female bassist, female musician, which is great to see anytime to see females in the industry.
mhm. Yeah, I've talked about this with Shannon, and I've mentioned to her that the reason why there are more women in rock music than when rock music first began is because of the punk rock revolution, which obviously began in the UK. And back then, the ethos of punk is that they're rebelling against whatever conventional norms that they can find that displeases them. And one of them is how commercialized some of the contemporary rock acts have become. They think of like acts like the Rolling Stone, which have been
Mhm.
more like brands than bands. And so they try to do like their own like DIY kind of music.
Yeah.
Mm, Pretty soon enough, you know, female aspiring musicians, which is to come in and they would say like, well, we can do the same thing as you guys can. So it the door is open and it was open wide.
I love that. Um yeah, females in rock and roll is just such a great thing, and I've been listening to Susan Tedeschi a lot and just love her and love just hearing women putting themselves out there because it's such a great thing, and meeting other women who I can play with and stuff is so important to me. And recently I've had the honor and opportunity to play with a girl kind of powered band called the China Dolls,
Mhm.
and they're just all amazing musicians with Sunshine Becker, and the whole gang are just, I can't thank them enough for always having me and taking me under their wing as well. But I just played with a bunch of their band members in San Rafael a couple weeks back, which was a total blast for a little party. And then I'm hoping to play with them again soon. And speaking of Sunshine Becker, I cannot thank her enough for everything she's done. From we played, I don't know, anyone who's watching this might have seen if you see my Instagram, but we played at the Giants Stadium, Oracle Park in San Francisco. I got invited down to play for a Grateful Dead tribute night, which was so amazing and just a dream, really. It was crazy, but I want to thank Sunshine Becker and Zach Nugent for that experience because it was mind blowing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So one of my favorite female led rock acts is Blondie, actually, Debbie
Yeah.
Harry. Yeah, she's just phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
She totally is.
Mhm. And I know that, of course, you know this more than me, that women, especially those who are in make their living on stage, are judged more on their looks than men. And yeah, that is, I guess, a rather unfortunate part of being in the show
Mm-hmm.
business, so to speak. But
Mm-hmm.
I think there are people who can take like two, so to speak, approaches to that. One that you can like downplay your looks. I'm thinking of people like Patti Smith, and then just get people to pay attention to your poetry and your musical
Right.
talents. But others, they create a unique look of their own. For example, like Debbie Harry and I guess the Bangles. That's who I can think of. So where do you stand on that particular you know, options?
I think whatever direction you're gonna go with that, as a girl myself, just be true to your art and don't let anyone change your mind because what you're doing is amazing, and stick with it and don't let anyone kick you down. But seeing girls doing all of this and putting their talent out there has been so refreshing lately. And a big inspiration to me is Grace Bowers,
Mhm,
who is in the Nashville scene, and just seeing her everywhere is so awesome. And she's so cool and so talented. So
mhm.
it's just great to see.
Yeah, and yeah, you mentioned Nashville. I know that there are like more women country superstars than there are like women rock stars, and yeah, that's something that you can pick up from, I think.
Huh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that I know the band Hailstorm with the musician Lizzie Hale. I know that Shannon really likes her, and
Yes.
they're actually coming to the city that I'm living in, Budapest, in
Really?
November, and I've actually bought tickets to see them.
You're gonna go? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's a once in a lifetime experience, right?
Of course, I hope it's super fun.
Yeah, I hope so too. So, tell me about some of the concerts that you've been in.
Some of the concerts that I've been to?
Yeah, like as an audience member. I mean.
Uh-huh. Um, I've seen some great shows. I actually just recently saw Dead and Co at Oracle Park
Hmm.
a few weeks before coming up for the Giants game. But there's some other ones. I've seen the Heads, or David Byrne from Talking Heads.
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen just some great ones. I've seen Alice in Chains a couple times. Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains solo, who's also a big inspiration to me, and I actually gotten to play with him before. And he's such a cool, down to earth guy. So,
Hmm.
ugh, everybody check him out. Who else have I seen? I actually haven't seen Pearl Jam yet, which would be probably top on my list to see soon. So, hopefully, Pearl Jam soon.
Hmm. Yeah, Pearl Jam is a fun band. I know that Eddie Vedder is remarkable, and one of the many things I find interesting about them is that they are how should I say it? They are very displeased with how the music concert business is being run, and
Yeah.
they direct their particular ire at Ticketmaster, which is
Yeah, the
currently ruling,
Ticketmaster boycott.
yeah,
Yeah,
ruling the that particular field.
right. They're fun.
Hmm. Yeah. So speaking of, I wonder, do you have any like control over how much people are paying to see one of your, say, particular live performances?
Um, Considering I just usually sit in with different bands as a special guest
Hmm.
most of the time, and then I would say that leans more on my band's control. So just the band that I'm playing with most of the time, yeah.
I see. I should also mention that back when I lived in Vienna the year before, and I just moved here to Budapest, and one of the first things I did when I moved to Vienna was I bought a ticket for months in advance to see this band called the Pretty Reckless. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, Taylor Momsen, former actress,
Yeah.
and yeah, I went in with little expectations because I I wasn't like too familiar with their music, but yeah, she knocked it out of the park, so to speak. She was wonderful.
That's great. I see her on social media all the time, and I think what she's doing is really awesome. So I'd love to see them sometime live.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope you
Yeah.
do too. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are currently at high school, I'm guessing.
I am 16 right now, but I'm taking all college classes in
Oh,
hopes
good.
of graduating soon, maybe in the next May.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So
It's been really great.
what school are you in right now?
I'm I'm online schooled actually.
Okay.
So just all online college classes, and then my dream is to attend Berklee School of Music in Boston, whether online, maybe the first year or so, or in person. So that's up in the air.
Hmm. Yeah. So, why did you decide to go to, I guess, online college instead of, I guess, normal high school, so to speak?
I've actually been in online private school my whole life.
Hmm.
So it was really easy for me when the whole Zoom thing on during COVID happened because I had already been in online school. And that's a question I get asked a lot. They're like, "Oh, so you were already doing online school?" And I was like, "Yeah." But it's been great. We travel a lot, so my family and I have been it's just a lot more it's a lot easier to travel and stuff when you're online, and especially for music now because I kind of have control over my own schedule and move things at my own pace, which is great because now I can graduate soon.
Hmm. Well, that's awesome. And I'd say it's quite unusual for a 16-year-old because I know that for the most part, Shannon included, most girls your age and her age are attending like regular normal people school, and
Yeah.
they have to balance between like school and music. But you uh, apparently you have that nailed down.
Thank you. Oh, I feel so fortunate to have that because it's given me a lot of time to work on everything that I'm doing, so I enjoy it.
Mhm. So, do your travels are your travels in relation to your parents' like jobs, or are you traveling on your own like schedule?
It depends. Um, Usually just on our own schedule, and we actually own property in Tahiti, so we
Mhm.
were there a lot traveling before the whole music thing, and then travel's just a huge part of our lives, and I another hobby other than music aside from that is traveling for me and seeing all different places and cultures is just really important to me. But now we're traveling a lot for music stuff and going to NAM and doing all the stuff, which is great. I
Mhm.
love it.
So, where was your favorite travel destination?
Oh, that's such a hard question. Okay. Um, we visited China and then took 3 flights inside of China, which was really cool.
Mhm.
Um, in Bali, Indonesia, Singapore was a real mile marker for me. So maybe like Singapore.
Mhm. Okay. I've actually visited Singapore for a weekend. I intended to study there when I finished high school, which but I didn't. Um, it's a very clean city, yes,
It's cool.
but it's the way I see it, not so conducive to human freedom. Yeah, everyone's too.
We were only there on a layover, but yeah, I just love to travel more and see more places. I'd love to visit Europe. That's one place I haven't been.
Oh yeah.
I love Alaska.
Hmm.
Alaska is a big one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to visit Alaska too, and yeah. I'll say Vienna and Budapest would be the two loveliest cities in Europe. I guess I know that because I've been there. But if you are to visit Europe, those two will be the first place to go to.
Great, of course, I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Yeah, and also my home country is Vietnam. So I don't know
Hmm.
if you've been there yet.
No, I have not.
Mhm. Yeah, it's you might like the food. But-
Okay, for sure.
And I know that in I don't know about San Francisco in particular, but California has a lot of Vietnamese Americans, and I'm sure that you might find Vietnamese food all over.
Yeah, actually, we have a couple Vietnamese restaurants here where I live, which is nice. It's nice. We have great food here.
Mhm.
I like the food here.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me more about the cuisine scene that you have there.
Um, Around here especially is very like organic California. Like I don't know, we have a lot of different. restaurants right in our area, but mostly we have like Thai food, we have a couple bakeries, we have actually we have a lot of bakeries in town.
Hmm.
So just mostly like cafe bistro kind of bakery vibe, which is nice.
Hmm. Yeah. So, how do you manage your diet when you do your traveling?
It that's a funny question. Um, I don't know. It depends on where I am. Just
Mhm.
whatever's cool there. Like
Let's
I
see.
don't know. I'm not really like a picky person at all. So whatever is there is
Mhm.
awesome. I like to try new stuff and like find cool food along the way.
Hmm. Let's see.
It's a big part of traveling. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's that's my favorite as well as least favorite part of traveling. Especially if you happen to travel a lot, because well, I'm sure you get to enjoy some of the cuisine of that locality, but at the same time, you don't have much of an opportunity to make your own food, which is something I
Yeah.
really prefer to do nowadays.
Yeah, of course.
Mhm. Yeah. So an unrelated topic, but do you know that show Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay?
Yes.
Yeah, there are those like YouTube clips about it, and
Yeah.
I find that to be the best argument against eating out and pro eating in.
Yeah.
So,
That's so crazy. I was just watching that the other night. That's a crazy show.
yeah, and I love the edits and the music that they use just to like heighten up the
Yeah.
drama
It's
factor.
very dramatic. Yeah. He's funny though.
All right. So, when is your projected date of graduation?
Graduation. I'm thinking I'll graduate in May of this coming year
Okay.
with hopefully a bunch of college credits already, which will be great. So,
Hmm. So, how long have you been doing this online college thing?
um, over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what are some of the subjects that you've been taking?
Oh, some of my favorites. I've taken psychology, astronomy. I'm taking an art class right now, which is great, fundamentals of drawing. And
Hmm.
art's something that's really important to me aside from music as well, because before music, I did a bunch of art and I love painting. I love working with charcoal and graphite. So that's, I'd say if I couldn't do music, I'd probably focus most on art and psychology. So those were my favorite classes so far.
Oh yeah. My younger brother who's living with me and is studying at the same university as me right now. He's at his first year in psychology as a major, and I
Mhm,
do find that there is a strong correlation between those who are interested in art and those who are interested in psychology. So
mhm.
perhaps you can enlighten me as to why that is the case.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, sorry. I was just wondering, like, from your perspective, why do you think that those who are interested in art are also interested in psychology and vice versa?
Huh. Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know. I'd like to say for me, art has a lot to do with paying attention to smaller things and kind of opening your mind to just full creativity and taking something that's really from your heart and putting it on a page per se and like showing it to other people and sharing it with that. And I think that can go hand in hand with music. And in my opinion, there's a lot of psychology in music, um, from the whole industry to performing to like from being on stage and being up there looking out at people to creating for social media and it's a big it's a big thing. It's a big psychological mental thing for me.
Mhm.
But I think that people have an attachment with art and psychology because it's very it's very personal. It's very close to you. So I think that kind of ties together.
Mhm. Yeah. Do you believe that humans are like the most attuned to their psyche when they are engaged with a piece of music, especially the piece of music that they like?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So tell me about some of the pieces of music that you find particularly moving that you return to over and over again.
Huh. Yeah, that's a great question. Um, Definitely some older stuff like some Bob Dylan stuff and really like really a lot of albums that have been touching to me were some of the not so popular more obscure Pearl Jam albums like No Code. There's a lot of great songs on there, and I just got my license. So when I'm driving
Hmm.
in my car, I have a bunch of old Pearl Jam CDs and like Foo Fighters CDs. And I know they're not such like sentimental music, but they're sentimental to me because that's just kind of what I grew up with. And I always will come back to that. So it's awesome.
Let's see. Well, congratulations on getting your license.
Thank you. I love it. I love driving.
Mhm. How long did it take you?
To pass my test.
Yeah, to get your license. Like,
For first try.
oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a funny story because I actually ended up having to take it in my dad's work truck
Hmm.
instead of the car I had been practicing in
Yeah.
because I don't even remember why my car was something was wrong with it. But I passed it anyway, which was fun. It was
Hmm.
cool.
I love to hear it.
Thanks.
Yeah, I went for my driver's exam last year, and yeah, like you, I did it in my first try too.
Yeah.
And it was on the streets of Hanoi, but I'm not.
Wow.
I'm and the streets of Hanoi are notoriously like chaotic and bad. So
Yeah, sounds crazy.
mhm. And I had to take it in a car that they assigned to me, and it took me
Yeah.
like 3 to 4 months to study for it, and so which was particularly challenging because it was in the summer, and Hanoi's
Oh,
summers can be really hot.
oh man.
Yeah, but I guess nowadays I don't really make much use of it, unfortunately, because currently I don't have a car, and cities like Budapest have such a good public transit system that I
Mhm.
don't feel the need to have a car, but that may change in the
That's good
future.
though. That's good.
Mhm. So, how's the street slash driving condition over there where you live?
Here it's good here. I like it. I don't mind it at all. It's really curvy.
Hmm.
There's a lot of there's a lot of like curvy coastal roads, but they don't bother me. And then town is pretty straightforward. It's just a really small town, so it's
Hmm.
really really tiny old school town. So easy roads. There's not that many people here other than tourists.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's mellow.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned the tourists. So, are there any like highlights and landmarks in your town that I should be interested in seeing?
The redwoods for sure.
Hmm.
We're right by wine country, so and growing up near wine country has been really cool because it's just a beautiful place to be. But wine country, whale watching, the ocean is a huge part of it. And on our property, we're actually right on the water, so you can get down to the water from my house, which is great. Yeah, just wine country and the redwoods and the ocean,
Hmm.
big part of it.
So, having you received your driver's license, and again, congratulations.
Thanks.
Do you expect to drive yourself as well as the band to shows and gigs anytime soon?
um, the last couple gigs I've actually driven myself and brought on my own gear, which has been pretty fun. And my parents still come, but it's been
Mhm.
cool to drive myself and be independent. But we have a gig coming up actually next Sunday.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and I think I'm gonna carpool with the band maybe. this time, but yeah, we have a big trailer and stuff, so I usually let them take my gear if I'm driving.
All right. So
It's fun.
the gig coming next Sunday will be with the reggae band.
Yeah,
All right.
BoonFire.
Mm-hmm. So BoonFire, like BOON,
BoonFire. Yeah,
Moon, Moon or Boon,
Boon.
Moon.
Boon. Yeah, they're a band out of a place called Boonville.
Oh, okay. Okay. So BoonFire. Okay.
BoonFire.
So BOON, not MOON.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'll be sure to check out their stuff.
for sure.
Do you guys have your recordings on Spotify or whatever?
They have a previous album up on Spotify from before I joined the band, which is
Okay.
awesome and you should check that out. But the new album should be coming out soon, which
Okay.
I'm super excited for. And it'll be released everywhere.
So it's the one where you're going to be shredding your guitar and knocking out solos and such, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about the Berklee College of Music, and also why would you want to leave the perfectly fine weather San
I know.
Francisco to Boston?
I know the weather is crazy there. We have some family over there, which is nice, but I've actually been in touch with a couple Berkeley professors
Mhm.
in the past year, which is nice. Um, one of which being Scott Turuli, and he's a huge mentor and influence to me. So it's been so nice to talk to him about it and kind of get some guidance in that direction. But I just think it'd be a great place to go. And I know some of my idols have graduated from there. And whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, that must just be the place for me because I couldn't think of being in a different school environment that's not focused towards arts or something that you're really interested in or tied down for because I definitely think this is what I'm gonna be doing with my life regardless.
Mhm.
So but touring is really the dream aside from college. So really wherever music takes me.
All right. Yeah. So I'm guessing aside from rock music, what are some of the other musical genres that you find particularly interesting?
Um definitely like definitely blues and kind of like a more folky blues kind of vibe. Like I don't know if Tom Petty falls into that category, but Tom Petty and some some older different stuff. The alternative thing is really cool. Some 2000s music. I'm really all over the place and it's ever changing. So you could ask me tomorrow and I give you a totally different answer because I'm
Mhm.
just listening to music all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, what I've
Yeah.
been interested in recently is instrumental music, and
Really?
yeah, that can go from classical to ambient to electronic, and they've been really fun. And they can be a good accompaniment whenever I'm like reading something, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, and because with regular like popular music, you get distracted by the lyrics, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's really cool.
Mhm. So tell me about some of the music that you've been listening to recently.
Hmm. Um, it depends on if I'm recording or not. I'll listen to music for stuff sometimes if I'm recording like a cover for Instagram and stuff. And if I'm going to record something, I'll listen to that song a ton and just get it like nailed down. So that changes all the time from what I'm going to record. But if I'm just driving in my car and listening to music for fun, which I always am, I've been listening to a lot of like Everclear, Smashing Pumpkins, actually Phoebe Bridgers a little
Mhm.
bit, which I know is totally different, but I don't know, it's really diverse. It's really out there. Just
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah. One of my favorite musical acts of the 90s is the band REM. Are you familiar with them?
Totally. Yeah. I have an REM poster around here somewhere.
Mm. Yeah. So they are contemporaries of Nirvana, and of course, I may not be that crazy into Nirvana, but I'm really into REM. I know that Kurt Cobain have listed REM as one of his favorite bands, and
Yeah.
I I recently bought a CD version of their most well-known album and my favorite album, Automatic for the People. And
Yeah.
I got a chance to
That's
listen to it.
awesome.
Got a chance to listen to it, and it's just as mesmerizing to me as the first time that I listened to it, which is in high school, around your age, actually.
That's so cool though.
So, do you have a CD slash record collection that you have there?
Yeah, definitely. I have a bunch of CDs and then I have a bunch of records. I just don't play them as much
Mhm,
because it's been really easy having a CD player in my car. And I actually just got some new CDs. I got John Mayer CD and then a Best of Counting Crows CD, which is pretty fun.
mhm.
Um, and then actually, I have some tapes right here. I have a Screaming Trees tape right
Oh,
here from
nice.
Seattle. But I got an Easy Street Records, which is a great place to stop if you're ever in Seattle.
Mhm,
But yeah, lots of CDs, lots of old CDs.
mhm. So, have you visited Seattle yet?
Oh yeah, Seattle's one of my favorite places to visit because I'd say it's like my second home, really. And if I had to pick a place to move other than like LA, I'd probably pick Seattle just because it's such a cool place and I love that whole Seattle vibe, but it's a great place to be and we try to visit at least like once or twice a year. So
Mhm. Yeah. I guess for you it's grunge heaven, but for me it's the location where they set one of my favorite comedy shows, Frasier.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's Frasier is a wonderful comedy show in the back in the 90s. I think you would really
That's
like
so
it.
cool. Okay, I'll check it out.
Um, so have you visited the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum? I think that's in Cleveland, right?
No, I actually haven't, but that's on my list for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and so what are some of the artists that you would like to open for?
Wow, that's a great question. Um, I know it's so ambitious, but really anything touching on like Mike McCready, like Pearl Jam, or really the whole John Mayer thing. And I know he kind of fits into a jam band category these days because of him playing with Dead and Co. But some of those bands bring huge audiences and they're just great people. So really the whole jam band thing too.
All right, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you are going to reach a point where other people are going to open for you. So I hope to see the day when
Thanks.
that happens.
Oh,
Yeah. So a closing question for you. What does music mean to you?
honestly, music means everything to me. And it's so close to my heart and just such a awesome thing. It's great. And just being on stage and getting to perform in front of people and seeing smiles and stuff is really what keeps me so driven for this and knowing that it's what I'm meant to do and what I want to keep doing. So looking out, really whatever I can be doing, looking out and know that I'm making people feel something or making people happy and smile and enjoy the music just as much as I do is what's most important to me. And just giving back and inspiring others in any way that I can is so meaningful. And just connecting with others and especially girls, just such a great thing.
Mhm,
And anyone out there who's starting this journey or just trying to put them out there, just go for it and do it because it is so much fun and just never stop, never give up.
mhm. Well, on that wonderful note, thank you very much, Bella Rain,
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
for joining the show. Yeah, and I look forward to your next album with the band. Was it BoonFire?
BoonFire. Yeah, thanks.
All right, have a good one.
You too.